Hello, and welcome to an all new episode of Men and Women Talk, the Mars Venus Show. I am one of your hosts, Kinte, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and I'm so happy to be here with you. I am joined by my wonderful, beautiful, ultra talented co host, the one and only baby in tow, Shannon. How you doing, Shannon?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel really good.
You look like you're losing weight.
I've lost quite a bit of weight.
I
And
see.
Ryan knows what I've been up to with that. Even though I kind of was naughty this weekend, but but I don't make a habit of it. So, uh, but um, but for the most part, man, I just been uh, living a better life, and just doing my thing. So thank you though. But you know what I hate? I was just saying this to Tori earlier. Is what I've been getting is, oh man, you lost so much weight. Like, are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm okay. Like, like maybe I'm on crack or somehow I'm
That's
sick or
intense.
something like that. I'm like, no, I'm just living a better life.
Good
So,
for you. Good for
eating
you.
better but you know what? I tell you something though, just as a side note, and Ryan can speak on this too. When you cut certain things out of your diet and then you kind of dibble dabble in it again, all of a sudden you don't. It's like, ugh, like like I remember I haven't really eaten pork in a long time, right? And I was somewhere and they had these pork chops. Yeah, they had pork chops, and she got excited when I said they had pork chops, and and they look great, right? And I used to love them, so I said, they were from the South, so they were golden brown and all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what? What the hell, man? I tried it and it made me sick. Like it
Made
didn't.
your stomach upset, didn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't do it. And you know what? I wasn't mad about that. You know, I wasn't mad about that. It was like telling me you don't need that. You know, and any other time, it would have been, I would have loved it, right? So, but no. So yeah, it's definitely, I've changed in what I like. What's up, Ronald? Sorry, I had to give him a shout out, brother Ronald. Uh, but yeah. So, but enough of what I eat and don't eat. Let me introduce my panel, and of course, we start off with ladies first. It's the one and only Tori Rush. How you doing, Tori?
Hi, I'm good. Good. Happy to be here.
Oh yeah, I'm happy that you are here. So how are you feeling these days?
I'm super stoked about this new leg in my journey. I just moved to Alexandria, so I'm doing that, and I'm right next to DC, and that's exciting. So we'll see how all this goes.
All right, all right. And also returning, another returning champ is the one and only Ryan Perez. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good.
How are you doing? And how's all your folks?
I'm okay. I've was supposed to launch my Hustle Zone TV website on January the 1st. Never happened because you know why? There's bugs and there's just the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur that we all have to go through. So we're still working on putting this fantastic website together. It's that there's going to be we're still working on our directory, which is now similar to Yelp and a job posting. So if you're looking for employees, things of that nature that we've been working on. But I realize that it's much bigger than what I originally thought it would be. And so we're still taking time to build it up. And Shannon had, she had an integral part in helping us write the content. So we're getting ready to launch, but we're doing well. Thank you.
All right. Oh yeah, that's right. Shannon is she writes content for it.
Yeah, she wrote pretty much constructed the um, the idea, like she took some of my ideas out and just constructed the writing portion of our site so that it's clear and it identifies it, or people can identify with it from our community. Because I'm not a writer, I'm dyslexic.
Mm. Well, yeah, that's one of the skills that Shannon definitely has. So that's good. I'm glad. I like to see that you guys are linking up and doing things. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what we're talking about today, today's topic is the Valentine's Day hangover. Now, yesterday was Valentine's Day, and also, and what's up, Brooklyn? Brooklyn's in the house. Today is actually a holiday, and I don't want Shannon to frown her face up when I say what today's holiday is, but it is National Side Piece Day. You know, because yesterday the guys were with their real girl yesterday, so you know, uh, and so now, but think about it like this though, you do get more on National Side Piece Day because candy is 75% off. You get those bears that sing. Everything sings. The cards sing. The bears sing.
Tell them no. Say no.
I'm not saying I participate in that. I'm just saying that that's what the day is. And one thing I find is when people tend to don't have Valentines, primarily more so women than men, it can be an issue, right? Especially when you look around and it seems like everybody's in love, everybody's booed up, you know, everybody has their significant other with them. Maybe you work at an office building and the girl next to you and the cubicle next to you, her man and send her flowers. I've seen situations where some women pretended to be like they actually sent themselves flowers like they got it from a man that don't even exist.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And then all of her friends are like, "Oh my god, oh he's so sweet. He sent you flowers. Oh yeah, my man. He did."
That's psychotic. That's a little crazy.
It is.
I mean, you just say you got them from yourself or you sent them to yourself. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
you love yourself, like
Right.
not an imaginary man. Okay.
Right.
I'll send them some of my men so they can have some men. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, so this is what we're gonna do is today we're gonna have this panel. So if you would like to jump in, there's the link in the chat room. I see Monica wants to come in. So, but so people, this holiday makes people do a lot of weird, bizarre things, and it's really interesting because it's contrived. It's a contrived holiday. I mean, they all are to a certain degree. It's all about spending money and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, if you want to keep it 100, Valentine's Day should be every day, right? You should always tell your significant other how much you care for them and whatnot, right? So, I don't know. I'm going to ask Ryan first, and then I want the ladies' perspective. Why do you think so many people put so much into? Only men say it's contrived. Hilarious. Why do you think Why do you think we as people put so much into this holiday, and who's getting love on it or not?
Why do we put? Well, because it's tradition. I mean, it's just been something that we've done for so many years. If you look at the history of Valentine's Day, men would come out. Like I forget what region, but men would come out and hit women with a dead goat or a dead sheep, and I guess the blood that was covering them would mean fertility or what have you, and that's where the red comes from, right? So there's we just carry on tradition because it's just something that and it's also an industry. It makes a lot of money. And after some time, you kind of have an expectation, and all the single people just feel kind of ways about it too. Like we sitting there like twiddling our thumbs, like when we're single and just like chilling, and we get caught up in our feelings, and that's just because of the expectations. It's like Pavlov's dog's theory. After hearing it, there's just a response, and you don't necessarily, you're not really thinking it through. You're like, really, why am I doing this? And there's couples that don't really on the other dates of their relationship, but they gotta pick that one day to be nice. And I'm like, no, Valentine's Day or just Lovers Day should be every day if you're in a relationship.
Amen. And welcome, Monica Black Diamond, into the chat.
Guys, much love.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Tori this question, and then we'll go to Monica and then Shannon. So you, as a lady, Tori, you put a lot of emphasis on whether you're booed up during Valentine's Day. Do you care or not?
Well, as you know, I've been notoriously single for a really long time. So, no, I don't put any emphasis if I have anybody on Valentine's Day at all. Like, it doesn't matter. I can love myself as much as anybody else can love me. So, I'm not really worried about getting caught up in like being sad if I don't have anybody, because I think a lot of people get depressed around this time of year if they don't have anybody. There was a lot of sad posts yesterday, woe is me, I'm sad because I don't have anybody on Valentine's Day. And it's like, you gotta love yourself first, and until you get that way, like, you're never gonna truly find love anyway. So like, to me, I've been working on myself. It's been 5 years in the making, and I'm making a lot of progress. So like, to me, it's just another hump in the road. It'll come whenever it comes.
Okay. What about you, Monica? Do you put a lot of emphasis on these kind of holidays and whether you're booed up or not?
Honestly, I think it should be something that's be celebrated all the time. But I think it's nice to just like one day just go overboard. So I don't know. I don't think it's the bad thing to just kind of emphasize it a bit more. Some people in relationships that men are not, or women, opposite, whatever. Sometimes they're not romantic, and sometimes that just gives them more of a push to try once in a blue moon. But I don't know. It kind of really depends on the relationship that you're in, I think. But I don't know. I think it's something that needs to be celebrated every day. And if Valentine's comes, then hell, do something more romantic or more crazy or more fetishy. I don't know. It really depends on you and your relationship, no?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
What about you, Shannon? Do you put any emphasis on yesterday at all, or?
I mean, I've not had a Valentine in my adult life ever. So it's not really a big deal to me. I mean, love is something that you are, and not just something that you show in terms of candy and chocolates and dinners. And
Mhm.
you shouldn't wait until February 14th to show or be those things. So,
Mm. You know what's interesting is you have Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve, and then Valentine's Day is kind of in a way like the end of that. That you want to be booed up. I mean, I'm talking about society. You want to be booed up from the whole Christmas all the way to Valentine's Day. I mean, you could make an argument spring break, but I would say Valentine's Day. Those are the times that people want to be booed up, and they have this thing called I don't know, what's it called, seasonal depression, whatever, where especially if they're not in a I mean, sometimes it's just the seasons that makes people feel a certain kind of way, but then also it uh so like sometimes it has just to do with the seasons, but then it can also be about what the relationship status is during that period of time. So I don't know. Uh, what is Valentine's Day? Hilarious. I don't know. Like men and women historically tend to have a different um, feeling of the importance of Valentine's Day. Like I don't know if I've known too many guys that get depressed if they're not booed during Valentine's Day. Um, I mean, that would be kind of. I don't. I've never felt any kind of way about being with someone or not, or even seeing some other people in relationships and feeling, some sort of negativity or anything like that. It seems to be more or less what I find from women.
When
But
I
I
made that comment, I was actually thinking of a dude. So that's funny that you said that.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, not to say that it doesn't or can happen, but it is. That seems to be more or less that is. So that means what you get from that is it's kind of societal pressures. Like the whole Valentine's Day is for women. Yeah, yeah, much definitely. Get over it. So, but but then though the thing is though that pressure of having to have somebody or not having someone or feeling some sort of way is really it's kind of messed up, right? I mean, if you let's say you have a man on February 14th, but then you don't have one on April the 3rd, you know.
But you don't really pressure anybody, though. I mean,
Mhm.
I think it's a way that you look at it. I mean, if people feel that pressure of having to do or having to be with somebody, I think it's something that you do to yourself. It's the same thing as Christmas. Nobody has to celebrate it if they don't believe in it. I mean, it's really how you think about it. Valentine's Day, if you feel like you have to have somebody and you get stressed out because you don't have somebody and everybody's with everybody, if you're happy the way you are and that's not, I don't know. I think it really depends on the person and how you take things and what your mindset is about love. And, there's people that feel like, other stuff are much more important, good or bad. I don't know, really depending on them. So, I mean, if it does stress you, then I think it's something that, okay, fine. You go on dates and do all that good stuff. I don't know. Try to find yourself first and be comfortable with yourself, whether you're with somebody or not. And how you want to deal with Valentine's Day? My God, it's not just about couples. I mean, show some love to your parents, show some love to your
Mhm.
kids, do something with them. I don't know. I think we tend to let media and all that stuff kind of try to make us feel a certain way, and I think that's something we need to try to uh, control in our life and our mindset. So I don't know. It really does depend, like I said, on a bunch of things.
Let me ask this question to the ladies on the panel. If you
Yeah.
are booed up on Valentine's Day or one of these holidays that you're supposed to be booed up on, and you have a friend, sister, cousin, whoever who is you feel like she's feeling depressed or something, do you not share your happiness just to like you feel like I don't want to say you're rubbing it in, but are you less likely to share like the great things maybe you might be going through in your relationship because maybe someone that's close to you is not going through that?
Don't rub it in their face, but don't stop being who you naturally are just because someone else is without.
Mm.
I mean, you shouldn't feel like, I mean, that's just like the concept of dulling your shine because somebody else is in the dark. Why,
Mm.
why would you need to do that? I mean, you don't
Yeah.
rub it in their face. I got it. You don't. Um,
Right.
but sometimes you allow people to, I mean, I think I read a book and the lady said, I love the idea of being surrounded by love without necessarily being in love. And
Mm.
she's talking
Yeah.
about her best friend's relationship. And so it's very well possible to experience the overflow of someone else's love without you physically being in it yourself. So yeah, I wouldn't
Mhm.
stop showcasing that just because somebody else didn't have. I would show them the extension of the love that I have and hopefully they feel loved in the process.
Mm.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
rightly agreed.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
She's chiming in. So, um, I'm gonna tell you a quick story time. And if she's listening, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna put your name out there, so don't feel some kind of way. But I have a friend who some years back, it was her and three of her friends. They all got a big house together, right? And they all have like a child, right? And what happened was they said, you know what, we're gonna work on us. Forget these men. We just gonna work on us. We're gonna pull together as girls and work on us, right? So they were all single, and I shit you not, they all went out one night, right? All four of them, and they had to get babysitters to watch their kids, right? And what happened was three of them got booed up that night. They all met guys that night, right? So and my friend didn't. So now they're dating these guys, right? And it's the holiday season, and they all got relationships. So their friends were now like saying, "Well, since you ain't got a man, how about you just watch all of our kids while we all go on dates together?" And she was pissed. She was like,
I
"No,
would be pissed too.
like I ain't doing that. You know what? You're going to have to pay me. I'm not doing it for free. If I'm going to watch your kids while y'all three go out, with y'all men that y'all all met in the same night, which is hilarious. But then so then they tried to make her the babysitter. Well, you ain't got nobody. And she definitely didn't want to be I guess, what would that be? The seventh wheel? you know, so she's like, I ain't doing that either. I'm not going to go out with you guys and you guys are all booed up and not. So all that we're going to just focus on ourselves stuff went out the window. And they all had dudes, So if you have a man, let's say if you have a man, ask him to pay for your own babysitter, and just because I'm single don't mean I have a date. True. Okay. Would you do that, Ryan? Would you pay for a woman you're going out with babysitter?
Huh? Would
If
I
you're going
pay
out with a woman and she's the babysitter, would you pay for it?
if I'm going out with a woman, would I pay a babysitter
So
to?
you guys can go out.
Of course.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Like you got to. Like I mean, like people do it. Some people are single. Let them do it. If not your parents or whoever, because like after a certain age, people don't celebrate Valentine's Day. They're like, yeah, like my grandparents don't. I don't think they celebrate it, but maybe they do. I don't know, but I don't know. I would pay. I would pay if I had to leave because sometimes I have to. I don't even get babysitters in general. So like it's rare for me to do it because when my son's here, my focus is on my son. But if I have to go on a date, I will make arrangements. And I'll do it way in advance. You can't do it like 2 weeks prior. You got to be like, yo, so that they don't think, oh, I got stuff to do. You got to do it like in December. Be like, you know what? Oh, for Valentine's Day, I'm going here. Can you babysit? They're like, yeah, okay.
Where do you find a babysitter? I mean, Craigslist?
Well, I don't.
That's not where you find a babysitter at.
No. I wouldn't. It would be someone I know. I wouldn't.
Okay.
That I don't know.
Right.
I've never paid to have a stranger take care of my son.
Be like, oh, the neighbor's kid. She seemed cool. I mean,
stranger
she drank
danger.
a little bit. She drank a little
Stranger
bit.
danger.
I mean, they do have like a site out there. It's for like nannies and caretakers, and like you like go and you fill out a profile about how your kid. Yeah.
That's
I don't know about, and they have ratings and references and all that stuff in case you're moving to the area or something like that. But
that's how I got my nanny job.
Oh, okay. I wonder, like, what do you, most people I know, it's always like their little cousin who's like maybe 16, 17 or something, or it's like, how do you even find them these days and feel comfortable, found a nanny on care.com. Okay. Has anybody ever been, and same thing with you, Ryan, have you ever been the odd person out where in your friend group, you're the one without somebody, And so have you ever been that person where you're the one that didn't have somebody in your group?
All the time, because I'm a weirdo, and I know
Yeah,
that.
me too.
So
Mhm.
I'm a weirdo. Like,
yes, Carlos.
like I was just telling Monica today because like Monica and everybody's like, you look good with your beard. You look good with your beard. And I'm like, look, I was alone for Valentine's Day, and I had the beard, so I just shaved it because if I'm gonna be single, I might as well be a weirdo looking like 6-year-old boy, and all smooth and stuff, being single, right? Because like I don't know, and I've always been that guy, and I'm always watching the cuddles. Like even in high school, people are like kissing up each other, and then you're like,
Yeah.
you
Have you ever been like a third wheel? Like,
yeah. Well, and that's why I stay home. That's why I'm introvert now because like I am not going to put myself in. And nowadays, like and then couples now just omit me from the list because when I have a girlfriend, they're like, hey, they're like, you want to come out? You and your little girlfriend? And then I'm like, well, me and my little girlfriend, we're no longer together, right? So you got to explain to them why and then they just don't call you because everybody at this age at 37, they're all booed up.
right.
They got their husbands and they have family dinners, and they say to themselves, they say, yeah, we can't invite Ryan because like he doesn't have
He's on a +1, yeah.
Right. He doesn't
it's
have
gonna be
that.
awkward and
yeah.
running around like
Me, I don't care. So I mean, like, I've never cared. So it's
yeah,
like,
because the women want women to talk to about like blinds and shit, and then they want and then they want whatchamacallit, they want the men's to talk because like they don't want the men's all interrupting their conversation. So women like to do this. They like to pin up men with each other to be like, you guys both like construction. Why don't you guys talk, right? Like
right.
the guy wants to be at home, right? He wants to stay at home and he wants to watch football, play PS5. He don't want to go out to no couples party. But it's all constructed by the woman, and then that's how it is. And then guys like me, the single guys, are the weirdos, and like especially when you get older, the older you get and you're single, the more weirder you become. You're like, I wonder if he's gay. I wonder if
Right. Right.
Does he like cats?
he must be into something, or he's maybe he's not right in the head. I wonder why he's not in a relationship. So you have all these stigmas that are attached to grown-ass men that are not in relationships. Maybe he has commitment phobia,
Right.
and then and if it's and if they're really nasty, they'll say, like them brothers, always the ones that don't commit.
Right.
Brothers are always the one that don't commit. So yeah, like there's a lot of stigma around that. But anyways, maybe I talk too much.
No, that's great. Has anybody ever been the okay, so your homegirl or your homeboy, they're dating somebody, but then their cousin or their homegirl's in town, and they want you to just so he or she won't be by themselves. You just come along and make it a. Have you guys done that before?
Yeah.
What was that?
Okay, so they did. So I went to Busch Gardens with this person, and it was the most horrible experience. And I love amusement parks, but it was like he was getting so drunk there that like Kinte, I will have a beer or two, but like this guy was like slamming back $9 beers, and I was paying for it, and I was like, dude, this is your bro, man. Like, go get your bro. And like, he threw up on a roller coaster. Like, it was terrible.
No.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how to, I don't know how to stop this train wreck. So I just want to go home. Can we just go home now?
The question was, have you ever had someone say, hey, just come along? Like they have a boyfriend and they say, hey, come along. Here, his friend is in town. Can you just, so it won't be awkward. You'll be like the
For
You know,
real?
it'll be 2 and 2 instead of 2 and 1 or something like that.
No.
No, you never did it. I've done that a couple times, several times.
When I was younger, maybe when I was in high school and down, but after that, I think you have to have a bit of confidence if you're gonna go into a date, no?
Mhm.
And especially when you bring someone along, I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong, but like, you gotta, it's for me, it'd be kind of weird,
Mm.
really, because I think that when you're going on a date, you have to get to really know them, and having another person, sometimes it's good because maybe they bring up things that you never talk about, maybe. But I like the idea of just being with that person and just vibing and looking at their eyes when they're
Mhm.
talking and understanding and listening, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I never did it, but in high around like I don't know when I was younger, yes, because you're just starting to go on dates and you don't know, you get scared or I don't know, but not scared. You just don't have that confidence.
Yeah.
So when you're older, I think it's different. I don't know. I might be
Yeah,
wrong, but that's how I
I
feel.
don't like being set up. Like being set up, is it never works. It's always awkward and weird, and then you start wondering, like you're like, what do you think of me if you're trying to set me up with this person? You know, like
Yeah.
you read into how people actually think about you by who they try to set you up with. Um, and what is it?
Well, but it's so funny because like it's like I have because I live in Calgary. There's a mixture of people, and there's a lot of white folks in my neighborhood and whatnot. And usually they tell me they're like, "So I know this black girl. She's amazing.
Uh,
You know." She would be so great for you, and then like they set you up. I was set up like that once, and you talked on the phone like so, hey, and there's no chemistry because and not saying that it's because she's black there's no chemistry. I'm saying because they just think because she's black that's the prerequisite for me to be like in
right.
a
You
relationship.
automatically- Yeah.
So and then you're talking to the person you like. So what do you like to do for fun? I like to chainsaw men. Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds
Awesome.
good. And then when it doesn't work out, they're like, oh, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought she would be great for you, right? I'm like, come on now.
Because you like white girls. That's funny.
That's hilarious. Carlos is in the house now. This guy always got a Valentine or 3.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely
Definitely.
I literally like 90% of my day yesterday was laying in this bed
Oh,
alone.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So where you at, Carlos?
Wait, what?
Where you at?
New York City.
Ladies, he's in New York City, okay?
Nah.
Yeah, the ladies look, man. The ladies love Carlos, man. I've been had so many women.
I don't know.
Dude,
What's his deal?
I have been single.
But
I've been single and alone for about, I guess, 3 or 4 years now.
I got you beat.
Yeah. Well, they're always asking me what's his deal.
Where you living?
I live in Georgia now, but I lived in Key West prior.
You said you live in Georgia now?
Georgia,
Where in Georgia?
right outside of Atlanta.
This is stomping grounds. That's hilarious. That is his stomping grounds.
Like where?
Like Powder Springs.
Okay. I just moved out of Peachtree City.
Yeah, I usually just tell people right outside of Atlanta because most people are like, "Where's Powder Springs?"
I know where Powder Springs is.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live in Noonan, then moved to Peachtree City, then moved to NYC.
I know where all those places are.
Let me ask you guys about dating. All right. So I say I don't like to be set up on dates. It's weird. Has anyone ever tried to set you up on a date and you're clearly in a relationship?
The baby says yes.
Right. Like I've had that happen where I'm in a relationship, the person knows it, and they're like, you might want to try this person instead. Like, I'm like, that's so bizarre to me.
I was set up on
Yeah.
a blind date years ago, obviously years ago, and the person and I, we met at the restaurant that we ended up, setting up. We didn't talk on the phone. We didn't know anything. So my friends completely blind dated me. And when she showed up, like we knew who we were because we had gone to college together, but she hated me.
Oh wow.
So wait, hold on, it gets better. So all right, we go along with the date. Now she never said to me that she hated me, but you can tell on her, oh no, him.
Surprised.
Did everybody just disappear? Okay.
No, you're
I don't know
good.
why, but everybody disappeared for a second. And so, but she never spoke to me, and I never had really spoken to her. We just kind of recognized each other from our group of friends. And so when we sat down and had dinner and we talked and talked and talked and talked and talked, she was like, "You are totally nothing like I thought you were." Because I had my friends, but I was always the quiet, shy guy in the back. So rather than thinking that I was the shy guy, she thought I was just big-headed and I didn't want to talk to nobody. And so I'm like, no, I'm just shy. I just didn't want to, I don't know how to contribute in certain conversations because I'm not into sports. I was really focused into my art, because it was an art college that I went to. And I'm always the odd guy. I didn't know how to blend in with people who were normal or average or, they are into the same type of things. Because I could talk about drawing and painting all day long. But outside of that, I hated. I really wasn't into sports. I really wasn't into some of the stuff that regular people are into. And so I would just listen and just sit back. But to the average person, that looks like, oh,
You're
well, he must
all
think so highly of himself. He doesn't want to contribute. And it's like, no, because I have no clue what to talk about statistics, or I don't even know the names of the teams or the players or nothing. So what do you do in that situation? And even when I got married, that was always an issue because all her friends were, normal friends. They were into soccer. They knew all the statistics of all the Latin teams and stuff, and they're watching the soccer game and they're jumping and yelling, and I'm just like, did we score?
Goal!
Yeah. So I always sat in the back, always. Like that's like my life right there because of my crowd. Just it's hard to find my crowd.
I don't know. I've always fortunately been able to be in any kind of conversation. So, and even if it's stuff I don't know about, I'm pretty good at just navigating through it. So I didn't have that issue. And I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good on dates. I'm a good listener. I do listen, and I don't do weird stuff. On dates, like I don't
I love him confirming these things. It's
like.
No, it's not that because I can relate to that.
Like
relate to that completely.
Weird.
Not that I don't believe you. I'm just saying.
Weird being like, there's something in her eye. So then you go. You go, like, something like that. I don't do no weird stuff like that or anything like that. So I think I'm pretty good on dates. But the thing is, like at this point in my life, I don't like dating. Right? Dating, especially like if you've been in a relationship and then you start dating again, it just feels, and you're like, oh my God, this is Groundhog Day. Like it feels like we're doing this, again, and it's just like. And then women. Okay, this is the thing. I'm glad we got 3 ladies on this thing, and there's ladies in the chat. You always hear women say, like, even when they meet on a date or they meet like on some dating app or something, they always get on guys about, oh, you guys ask the same kind of questions. It's the same conversation, like. Oh, so like how many siblings you have, or that kind of thing. It's like, well, like what are you expecting? Like what are you expecting us to be so interesting, especially when we're swiping left, 100 times, Like, what are we supposed to come up with that?
Swipe it. Oh, that's right. You guys use date lapse.
I don't, but I'm just saying for a guy who does, or on a date, like, what are you expecting on this date to be? What conversationally are you expecting?
So are you telling me when you get into a conversation,
Mhm.
you go already on your mind, like, what are you expecting from me type of situation talk? Or like,
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
get it. Because if
sometimes
somebody were to do that to me, I'd end it. Because if
no,
you're
I'm
not
saying,
going to
like,
have a good time,
you're asking questions like, oh, so what do you do? You have any siblings or whatever like that? Like, what do you expect?
I don't know.
I
Like, just
expect excellence.
They want to hear how much money you make.
listen to the one above.
What did she say?
I expect excellence. I expect original questions only. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to go to dinner with anybody alive or dead, who would it be and why? Like, I want questions like that. I don't want to know what's your favorite sports team. I don't have one, man. Like,
No,
I want
I would ask
original
that woman
questions.
on a date. That's a weird question to ask a woman on a date.
Oh, but you'll remember that one. You'll be like, that chick that one time, man, she asked me a really deep question. Like, I was sitting there eating my fries, and I was like, man, you think about somebody dead I'd go out with? What the fuck?
I agree with Stephanie. The questions aren't the problem. It's, yeah, totally. Because, like, the questions, I mean, you should be ready to answer anything if you're going to be open and trying to get to know somebody. There's got to be a chemistry. I mean, I'm kind of old school. If you're with somebody and you're sitting with them and you're just enjoying the positive vibes or whatever, you're going to know what's right or wrong, I think. But if you're going to get so complicated, I hate complications, especially on a date that you're just getting to know somebody. Like, calm down. Like, don't worry about that. Enjoy the presence and be present. If you're not present in the moment, then it's not even worth it. And what is your point of even trying?
I'm a chicken.
Done.
But what's chemistry though? Like Shannon, what is chemistry on a date? Like, I'll be honest with you. I've had great relationships that started out shaky at first. So if I went only on that, I would have missed out on a good deal. Now you could argue maybe it wasn't so great because we're not together now, but I'm just saying though, so I mean, do we put too much on the chemistry thing in the beginning though? Like, I mean,
I think that's
awkward.
everything.
It can be awkward though. Like, you don't know the person, you're on a date, you're at, Olive Garden, whatever crappy restaurant you go to on your dates, I take all my women to Shea Whitey's. But I digress. So, like, Shannon, what is chemistry on the first date? Like what are you expecting? Sparks to fly? Are you the Virgin Mary to come out? Or like what is it that you're looking for?
I think that's the problem. We have a lot of misplaced expectations. You should really just be trying to get to know someone. Know them for who they are and not just who they represent, because people will show their representative because people like to show out. And I usually give the disclaimer: you're getting who you've gotten on the phone, you're getting who you've gotten in this message group that you may have talked to me in. Like, the consistency is important to me. So I don't want to find out 2 years down the road that now you're this mystical being, or this weirdo. Like, if you're weird, be weird consistently. So yeah, I'm just trying to see if we can have some organic conversation. If we don't have to feel pressed to perform for each other, and if we can just enjoy each other's company, and if we can do that, that'll determine if we're going to do this again. And that's really it. I've learned to take expectations out of it and go with an open mind, because I'm not trying to marry this person tomorrow. My biological clock is not ticking. So I'm really just trying to get to know them.
Is it a turnoff if the guy's nervous on the date?
No, because I probably am too. Because I always tell my friends, especially my sisters, and I have 4 of them, I tell them, let me send you a picture of who I'm about to go out with so I won't end up in his trunk with some lettuce. Because we need to know I mean, and the same goes the opposite way. I mean, there are women that have some crazy tendencies as well, and we all need to be protected. But no, I think, especially at this day and age, I mean, you show up in a mask, you take your mask off, and you're like, oh, so your teeth aren't all yours.
Oh, that's great. Hi.
Hello, nice to meet you.
I must look really mean in a mask.
You what?
I imagine, because I'm just like.
So you look like
And just take off the mask.
a Cartoon Network special.
Angry eyes. Yeah.
A drink will make you yeah, it happens. I mean, I don't want a drink spilled on me, but
Oh my god,
it happens, and there are definitely crazies on both sides. Hey, Dad.
Dedrick, yeah, what's up, Dedrick? And real quick, just shout out to Stephanie, who has a show starting around 6 or something on Clubhouse, which I just found out about yesterday. But when this show's over, I will run on Clubhouse and check her out. So I always like to support my.
is that what they're calling it now? Shows?
What she said, it was a show, so it was an actual program. So
I don't have iPhone, so I won't be on there, but I support you from a distance, Stephanie.
yeah. So we'll have to talk about Clubhouse at some point. But no, I mean, I find myself the dates that I'm nervous, it's because I'm more interested. The ones I don't care about, I'm just like whatever, just like
Yeah. I'm nervous. I got gas. That's it.
Oh god.
Oh, it's women in tech, safe space for women in okay. Wait, can guys come too?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's dope, Steph. I'm so proud of you.
yeah. But
See, the time that I dated, the last real date outside of my ex-wife was over 20 something years ago.
oh wow.
So I don't know what's life like is now because things seem so different now. And but
That was the
back
last
then,
time you went out, though? That was the last time you went out, you said?
yeah, it wasn't the year 2000 yet.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
okay. So it's been years.
It's been decades.
It's been
Yeah,
decades.
God. And what's sad is I don't want to say it like that. I was going to say I feel like I lost so many years, but the marriage was okay. I can't completely bitch about it. But back in the day though, I was always afraid to ask the women out because I never understood women in terms of how they are supposed to be telling you that they're interested in you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't read the way they acted or their responses and I wasn't about to say, hey, are you even
Do you
interested
like
in
me?
me?
Circle
Like,
yes or no. Yeah.
or write them a little note, answer yes or no.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't very clear. So I always held back. But the women that would ask me out normally was after they kind of found out the type of things that I was doing career-wise or the lifestyle that I had. Because back then I was an artist. I worked in films and all that type of stuff. And that would be what piqued their interest. I don't think anybody was really ever interested in me more so than what I used to do. And I don't think that it was like an attraction of, oh, damn, look at him type of thing. It was always more like, oh, he works in film. That must be interesting because that's what the questions are always about.
Mm.
And I used to work out and stuff, and only like one or two women might talk about, hey, I like the body or whatever, but that was a very rare occurrence. So that's my history of dating, and so that's why I'm not so into jumping into it now, because now it's even weirder.
Right.
When I heard you say swiping, I'm like, what? And then I realized that people date in those apps, or that's a thing now, and I haven't really entertained that.
Yeah, you gotta have a Zoom date now.
Well, okay, so I'll reveal something cheesy about myself. Like, I've online dated for a really long time. I was like on AOL chat rooms doing that whole thing, like back in the
Wow,
day.
that's a while ago.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
how old I am. I'm 38, so like, you know,
Well, I could be
I
your
was like,
grandfather.
yeah. I grew up dating like that, but like, I know it's so dorky, but I felt I get to know people better online. It's easier for me to talk to people like that. They get to know me, and then it's like, hey, this is who I really am, like surprise, and then they're like, oh no, like I don't know. I guess it's like it's not that I'm two different people. It's just that they think that I'm going to be somebody else in person, or I don't know, like my pictures are my pictures. I don't filter them or anything like that. I don't have stupid little animal ears or anything like that. But like, you know, but like
I do.
you do? Oh, okay. Okay, I see it now. It took me a minute. But for real though, like I think that dating now is weird, definitely. Like people judge you within 5 minutes of seeing a picture, or 5 seconds, and they have that split decision whether you're hot or not. You know, remember that site, Hot or Not? Whatever happened to that one? Like,
It turned into Facebook.
anyway, but
right.
I'm so old. Anyway, but like you have a split decision whether you like this person or not. So like, it's almost like you're selling yourself, like not like a prostitute, but like I mean, like you have to like put forth an effort and like put your best picture on there and make catchy logos, and it's a process. It's like making a resume to catch people's attention. Like, hey, look at me,
It sounds
I'm
like you're
awesome.
talking about
You know?
LinkedIn.
Yes, you know, like look at me, I'm awesome. You want to talk to me? Like swipe right. You know, like you want to do that. Like it's so much pressure. Like why don't I just write what I want to write and put whatever picture what I want to put up there. Like, I don't know.
Let me
That
ask
does
you-
sound like a lot of pressure.
Let me ask the ladies this question: if we'll use Ryan as a guinea pig, and Monica, you know him the best out of all of us. If do you feel like you could write Ryan's profile based on what you know of Ryan, that would get him good
I would
attention
like to hear this.
on a dating site? Could you use what you know about him to write his profile to get him get him better looks on dating profiles?
Okay, so pause. The question is like, what would I write? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh Lord,
that's actually better. Yeah, what would you write about Brother Ryan?
what would I write? The thing
All
is,
true.
I know him so well that I'd probably get emotional about it.
Aw.
Aw.
Because I think that Ryan is as much as like we all have our thoughts, and maybe people, you know, don't know him as well, and they spend so much time, whether saying good or negative. I don't feel like a lot of people really know Ryan. I think people that have negative things about him have no clue what Ryan is about. So for me, my God, it's hard, you know, when you know somebody so well, and there are no words to explain how awesome he is. And I think that Ryan, when it comes to writing, he has so much to say because he's such an awesome guy. So if I were to write something, I would just say, I don't know. That's so hard. I would just say call. I wouldn't even say anything.
Call me.
Just call. That's it. Because I think the problem with those dating sites, they don't have that much information. If I could write what Ryan's all about and how great he is, it wouldn't be enough to fill the page. I think that it's something that women don't really see. And I think maybe sometimes, even all of us in general, I mean, well, whoever does that stuff, but sometimes just that little space is not enough to really know or to even flip what is it, right or left, if you like, if you don't like, and it's all based on what you see as well. So I don't know. For me, I think a lot of people lose the idea of having that connection, the real connection of a person, because it shouldn't be based on their picture. I think that's ridiculous because my God, I could do maybe a bikini and I'd probably have 1 million people messaging me compared to me putting a turtleneck and maybe they just like my face and whatever. So if you go on, for example,
Me
my
too.
Are we talking about a
page in
two-piece?
general. What's that?
We're talking about a two-piece bikini.
Sure. Whatever you want to imagine it to. But the thing is like I think a lot of people that do those profiles, it's so complicated. There's a lot of people that put like 50 emojis and you have to guess what they're trying to say. Or on top of that, they put sometimes they're too dramatic in what they're saying, or maybe they say too much and women are like, oh, so complicated. You can't tell by swiping just because how they look or what it says, because a profile like this, that sometimes they say like how many letters, no? It tells you like a minimal. How are you gonna know somebody just like this just because you're looking at their job because of what they do, just because of the color of their skin, because of I think it's not a good idea. I think if you want to have a connection, I remember back in the days, when you felt something between somebody and you locked eyes and you're like eye humping the person, yes, go for it. You already know when they're walking through that door. You already know when they're looking at you. Let's be honest. You just feel it. And if they're looking at you all night and then they come up to you, it's a different feeling, To do the swiping right left, I think it's very, I don't know how people expect the profile to trigger that, oh, I like this one just because of they like what they see.
I'm guilty of that. He's funny.
It's common, but it's common for everybody to do that. You're like, damn, he's got a nice car. This guy must have a nice house. This guy, you know what I mean? Like it's now that's a thing. But I like the more old school. I'm like very traditional in that sense. Like it's not to say that I'm nor better nor worse. It's just I just like that connection. I like to feel the person beside me. When you hug somebody and you just feel the butterflies, I like that feeling. I don't get that.
So is that what you do? Is like, hey, before we get to know each other, I just need to know if we kind of can lay next to each other and see if that works.
No, it's not about laying with the person. It's actually, I like, what for me really catches me is when you actually have a conversation with the person and they look at you in your eyes when they talk to you. I like the fact that they want to get to understand. And when they're listening, for me, that's a big deal because sometimes men or women, we don't listen. Right. But if somebody's willing to sit down with you and take the time to be present in a conversation, for me, that is already like you have my attention. Doesn't matter how big nor skinny. Doesn't matter a lot of things, Even a smile for me is like a big deal. Like those are things for me that are so minimal. But if I can have a conversation and I'm able to open up to a person to an extent, hardcore, I'm with Shannon on this one. Make it simple. Don't be so complicated. Get to know somebody humbly, not where do you work? What do you do? Like those are main questions that yes, we do ask. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, like
now I have a question for everybody. And this is including the people in the chat room. So I want you to guys put it in the chat room. And I really want to start off with Shannon and I'm going to end with Carlos on our panel. And this doesn't have to be just romantic. What qualities of your character do you think gets the most slept on by people in general?
Qualities
gets let down?
Gets slept on. Like people don't realize that you are ...
I mean, in a nutshell, most people don't realize that I'm just that damn dope.
Well, I mean, like, what about your dopeness that people sleep on?
I mean, all of it. I think I get friend zoned more often than not.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
You know,
I wouldn't think that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that either.
I mean, the guys that want to talk to me wouldn't be worth the time, energy, or investment.
Mm.
So,
Okay. What about you, Ryan? What are some qualities you think get slept on? It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be just in general. What do you think people sleep on about you?
Well, great that you ask. Because Stephanie in the chat and her comment and her backhanded comment. So I just want to address that first. No, it's not just white women. I live in Calgary, Alberta, KKK capital of Canada. There's not a lot of diversity here, and it is hard to date in general.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a weirdo, vegan, intellectual, and all that stuff. And you add. I think I'm going to be single for the rest of my life, to be honest. But that's what I personally think. And then she said, don't want me for anything. I am one of the misconceptions about me is that I'm always on my computer. Yes, I work a lot, but I like to take this is my business. I do social media as my business, but I like to take time to myself. I love the mountains. I love to hang out with my son. And I'm goofy as hell. I try to showcase that without trying to tarnish my brand sometimes. I'd like to do funny things online. But in general, if I'm off camera, I am super goofy, super funny, prankster, all kinds of stuff. Like I can't stop laughing, dancing, and making music. I'm multi-talented. Like I compose music. I write poetry. I do a lot of different things, and it's hard to compress that all on social media. And I care. Anytime when it comes to women, I love to. I'm a crazy romantic. If you're sick, I'll deliver the soup.
Vegan?
No, it wouldn't be vegan. I could cook. My mom taught me how to cook, and that's the other thing. Mom taught me how to cook, iron, clean. I do all that for you. So it's a big misconception. A lot of people think that I'm just business and I don't care and I'm serious all the time. But it's like I have a heart of gold. Heart of gold. I'll bend my back even in relationships that I shouldn't have. Where I was abused or mentally abused or whatever. I've always just did the most because I love, and when I love and I fall, I fall.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Corey, what are some qualities about you that you feel like people
let's see. Actually, I'm a very patient person. I'm very compassionate. I empathize with people a lot. And I'm loyal. Like I'm loyal to a fault. Like if I'm your friend, I'm your friend for life. Like you basically have to bury me in order for me not to be your friend anymore. I'm the kind of friend that even if I know you're wrong, I will still have your back. I'll be like, yeah, bro, the sky is green. Like I will always be real. And people don't think, I guess, I'm a Taurus though, and that's part of being a Taurus, and I believe in astrological signs, but let's see. I'm also really good at picking out people's strengths and helping them succeed in whatever they're doing. So if you come to me and I'm really good at giving constructive criticism to not offend you, but all that kind of stuff. But I hope that when people want to be my friend, they realize that I don't judge anybody either. I've been through too much to judge anybody. So I'm the least judgmental person you'll ever meet. You can come and tell me, hey man, I murdered somebody yesterday. I'd be like, oh, so how was your day?
Yeah, right on.
I love Tori.
We will have to
How
have
do we
a
not get
conversation.
caught? Do we have to bury a body? What are we doing? You know?
Now I know who to call if I need to.
Yeah.
Here we go. We all know now.
This guy.
But I
Yeah.
thought you weren't gonna judge me. Come on.
Yeah, we'll have to have a conversation about that.
Yes. Yes.
You dig. I'll be the lookout while you dig.
Yes. There you go. Somebody has to bring the lie. Like this is a group effort.
It's too many somebody's in that story for it to be a secret.
And I want to. Stephanie says that I'm actually a very understanding and patient person. So
That's important. Patience.
so anybody else in the chat room, what are some qualities of yours you feel like you've been slept on? Like people don't really understand you. What about you, Monica? What are some things you think people sleep on you about?
What people? Okay, like what
Yeah, it
people
doesn't have to
don't.
be romantic. It could be like your family. It could be like they don't get you. Like you are really this person.
I'm a very romantic person. I'm a very open person. I am not afraid of. I should maybe not say that. I'm not afraid to be loved. I'm not afraid to be in a relationship. I'm not afraid to try things. I'm not afraid. I'm a really open book, to tell you the truth. And I like being an open book because it gets you to really learn different things, not just about the person, but yourself too, what you're willing to actually get yourself into. But I'm like, same with Tori, like the whole idea of being patient. I think that's so important. And I'm a very patient person. I do have my moments. Yes, I'm pretty sure Ryan can tell you that. But it's things that you learn from. You know what I mean? So I think I don't know what else to tell you. But I am like a crazy romantic, hardcore. I'm a very cuddly person. I'm a very like, you come home, let's watch a movie, whatever. I love to cook. I will cook anything, have it ready for you when you get home, because that's just the type of my parents were like that. They were very loving parents. Like they taught my sisters and I to be, to enjoy love in the sense of communication and intimacy in general. I mean, they didn't teach me, but they would tell me that's such a beautiful feeling that you have between two people. So there's just a lot of things that, I was lucky to see and to learn from. And I don't know, I'm a very romantic person, bottom line. I like doing romantic things. I like to share that. So I hope that answered it.
Yeah. Okay. And I purposely am saving Carlos for last. So I'm going to say myself and then.
On purpose.
Carlos. Go. Yeah. So I really feel like the thing that gets slept on me just across the board is that I'm a much more, I think, a nicer person than people think I am. Like there's a lot of people that think I'm kind of like hardcore, like the way that I deal with people and stuff like that. Now there's some people I think they kind of understand that I'm a good guy. I don't want to say I'm a nice guy, but I'm definitely a good guy. And I'm really very caring when it comes to what happens to people. I'm an empath in a lot of ways. Like one of the reasons why I don't do bad by people is because I really feel it. I don't like to see people hurt or downtrodden or something, unless they do something to me or the people I love. But just I don't like to see people in a bad way. Like I'm not that person. So I think people don't always understand that about me. So, okay. So I purposely saved Carlos for last because I'm really interested in, I'm interested in everybody's answer, but like, I wonder, because Carlos he's a pretty open book for the most part. And I feel like even though I've known Carlos, I think about 5-6 years now, and I've really gotten to know you in the last year, that you pretty lay things bare pretty good. And I got to give you a lot of credit for that. You're very open about your wins and losses. And so I'm interested. What are some things you feel like people may have slept on about you, your character, who you are as a person, romantically or not, just in general?
Well, I'm a lot of the things that a lot of you guys have talked about. But for example, I'm friends with people who hate me, right? But they hate me for reasons that they have placed in their own head.
Right.
So, I used to hang out with some guys, back in the day. And again, always the quiet guy. And there's a lot of things that I don't know is occurring with groups of friends, for example. So, for example, whenever the guys would tell the girls, "Oh, Carl's just coming over," I'm just coming over. I don't know what's going on. What I learned recently is all the girls would run to the bathroom and start putting on their makeup. I don't know that stuff.
Right.
The guys would then be jealous or upset. But how am I supposed to know any of this stuff is happening? Like, there's nothing that I could do to kind of fix that. And I would remain single for many years just on that alone. I mean, the only thing that I can say that people just pass on is they don't really get to know me deeper than just the basics, right? They'll get to know the basics. Even when I started doing live stuff, what I used to get a lot is that I looked mean, and that I was one person had a nickname for me called mafioso.
Mafioso.
Right? So that's just strictly based on my lives, and that I was always very serious, and I have a dark or deep voice. My internet's hold on.
I didn't expect that.
So they would think that if they got to know me, I'd be like more brutish. And what's funny is this one particular person, we ended up literally hanging out every day for 3 months because I went to live up in Connecticut to clear my mind, because I knew like things were kind of falling apart in the marriage and stuff like that. And I wanted to focus on building a business, which I ended up doing, and I have it now. And when we got to know each other, she told me, like, I have to say I was completely bonkers wrong. Because I'm wacky. I'm silly. I get to joke around. I'm not just, I don't spend that time of being wacky and wonky live. You don't have time for that. So I do that when I'm more of in a friendlier environment, that type of thing. So I feel I'm fun. I'm still friends with every ex-girlfriend I've ever had. Not close friends. I'm not like hanging out with them, chilling, going to the bar type of thing. But if anything goes wrong in their relationships, they know they call me. Not for me to be like the guy that's going to sleep with them as a thing. They're calling me because they want to hear what advice I would give them, because they know that they can trust me enough to let it all out, and I'm not going to like tear them apart. And that's the other thing. I will tell you, I'll tell you apart, because I'm going to be straight up forward honest with you. If you're doing something wrong, I'm not going to be the yes guy for you. I'll be your friend. I'll back you up, but I'm going to let you know when you're effing up. And you know how like sometimes, oh, well, I don't know, I think he ignored me because of this and that, and then you're making up stories in your head. I mean, like, no, he's not doing that to you. Like, sometimes I want to think that the guy's the bad guy, when in fact, you're just misconstruing the entire situation, and I'm going to tell you the truth. So I'm the guy that people like, they lean on my shoulder when they want to, and I've accepted it. I'm not like, man, I get used. I don't get into that. It is what it is.
I kind of feel like Carlos, when he breaks up with a girl, he leaves them with a gift basket.
No.
Probably not. 8x10s on me, so you can remember.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but yeah, I mean, they know it's not.
It's not you.
I've never like left the relationship as enemies.
That's good.
That's cool. I mean, I wish I could say the same. Uh, yeah, there's some I would definitely be worried about if I ran into. But no, that's pretty dope though. That is truth about you, man. And I have to say, in this last year, realizing that you did have like like I don't know about mafioso. I didn't think that, but I didn't think you were as funny and wacky as you can be. So I definitely learned that about you, Carlos, this last year. But I will say this, and this will be kind of the last thing I'll get to, and then we'll say goodbye. Is I don't know if you guys ever experienced this where somebody you've known for a long time and you really feel like you know them deeply, and they either accuse you of something or they state something about you that's not true, and you realize this person don't know me. Like you thought they knew you, like what kind of person you were, what kind of character you had, and you realize this person that you've been around. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, and it's very hurt. It hurts. When you think that, like, how could you accuse me of this? I couldn't. You should know that I ain't that person. Or it could be. Sometimes when you realize that someone doesn't, really know what kind of person you are, what kind of character you are. So, that can be a very hurtful thing, especially in a relationship. Someone that you're intimate with, and then you spend so much time with, and then you realize this person don't know me. This person I've been sleeping with don't really know me like that,
I,
And
I feel the same way in the marriage that I spent 20 years in. I agree with you 100%.
Can I say something too? Like
Sure.
that's the other thing too about a lot of us here, because a lot of us are public personas,
Right.
and we are on social media all the time. Like when I participate on social media, it's a strategy. Everything that I do is strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Monica knows this. I'm always trying to think ahead of how I'm going to, I'm utilizing the algorithms and stuff like that. And what I project on social media, it's not that some of it is false, because I like to be transparent on social media, but I don't reveal probably a good 80% of my life on social media, and the relationships that I have with people. And I find that, people just have this misconstrued, view of who I am, whether I'm, I need attention, or, people said that I'm narcissist. And a lot of these things hurt when I hear it, because it's like, you don't know me. You don't know me because you don't even take the time to call me and ask me what's going on. And, and then people also ride off of like what's happening in my life, and they want to be close to me, but they approach me on a basis of what they think they know. And when they find out I'm an introvert, I lose a lot of people because I don't like to talk to people a lot all the time, and things of that nature. So it's kind of like, I think like when it comes to relationships, that's what always, and I don't know if you guys can all identify that, being a public persona, that, a lot of people just misunderstand you or won't approach you to be in a relationship because they think that you're a particular way.
They think they know you.
Yeah. Because they managed it. So it can be very troublesome at times. And then I've had people say negative things about me and talk behind my back and talk with friends that we all mutually know and be like, well, Ryan's this and Ryan's that, and he did this and Chico did that, blah, 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 blah. I've had that happen, and no one will come out and actually confront you about it. They just keep that within the mist.
Well, Ryan, I told you I was sorry about it, man.
It's all good, but you just wish it.
I never did that.
I think, like, to boil it down, I think it's just a matter of people just communicating. If we're friends, then just, if you have an inclination about something, just ask, and you probably get a good answer. But most people don't ask. Most people assume, and they judge it based on your post, and and rather than them actually going to you. And that's what we lack nowadays, is communication. We won't even take the time. And that's why I said in last shows that you've had that before you date somebody, you should just be able to, if you can't be friends with that person, what makes you think you're going to be good lovers with the person?
Amen.
Well, because.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I want to say this before we say goodbye. One of the reasons why I'm excited about this year is that woman in the box all the way over to the right. Her book that we've been waiting for longer than we've been waiting for the new installment of Game of Thrones. Shannon, she has two books coming out this year. One is Dismantling Daddy Dysfunction. Did I say it right? Yeah, that book. And then she has another book coming out later, and I'm very excited about it. Can't wait to read your books that are coming out, and so we're looking forward. I'm gonna probably get an advance copy, right?
Sure.
All right, cool. And that's in May, right? Yeah, that made me feel like it was really happening. That's coming in May, right?
Yep.
All right, so I'm looking forward to that. I know things are crazy right now with COVID. Do you plan, if things lighten up, you plan on doing a book signing or anything?
I mean, I plan to.
Okay, cool. So I'm looking forward to that, Shannon. And just so people know, normally we're on at 6, but we have to move up to 5 because a young lady has to go to work very early in the morning. So we're going to be doing the show at 5 on Mondays rather than 6, which is 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to start off with the ladies. Tori, how can we get you in social media?
You can get me on Instagram at Rush Tori, and you can get me on Facebook at Tori Rush, RUSH, TORY RUSH.
All right, and we're glad that you are back in the fold. So
Yay!
yes. Monica, how can we get you in social media?
Oh my goodness, just put Monica Black Diamond wherever you go. It'll show up wherever you like. Instagram, it's monica.black.diamond. If you put Monica Black Diamond, it'll show up too. Facebook, Monica Black Diamond. I think everything is just Monica Black Diamond.
All right. And we go with you, Ryan.
And Hustle Zone. Don't forget Hustle Zone. I'm there too.
That's right. Ryan, how can we get you in social media and all that good stuff? And what can we be on the lookout for with coming up with Hustle Zone?
I have to stop saying stuff before they hatch because I do that quite often because I get so excited because we've built such a beast of an organization.
That's crazy.
But it's I just can't say anymore. There's nothing to look out for unless you want to book an interview for our podcast. If you want to check us out, go to hustlezonetv.com. All of our links are there. You could join our social group. And if you want us, now we have a service. If you want us to produce your show, we have one client, and her name is Twyla. The show is called Peasants, Sex, and Relationships. And it's all about it's a woman's point of view about dealing with peasants, and these are men that don't measure up to be kings. So it's an all-woman audience, and we do it privately. But you guys can check her show out by going to hustlezonetv.com and join her group. The show is very educational. She had one show on sex toys and how to use them and stuff. I learned a lot. I honestly sat there. Every time I do the show, I'm learning a lot about women. And she had one show about F-boys and I was like checking off the list. I'm like, I'm an F-boy.
Oh, no.
I'm not consistent. You know what I mean? I stay consistent for about maybe 3 months and then I start breaking off. I'm an F-boy. So I was just like learning how to like become a better person, better man through her podcast because it's not meant for men. But, she's educating women on how to be positive role models. And then she takes pictures of herself, like not like professional pictures, but they're really, sexy pictures, but they're for women to show them, to show women that they can be positive in their body, no matter their shape. So, it's a women's empowerment show. So you guys can definitely, if you're not you guys, ladies, if you are looking to watch a show about relationships and you're having issues in your personal relationships or with your side relationships, go to hustlezonetv.com. Hustle Zone TV is also producing Antoinette Perugine, she is a producer, Hollywood actress. We just did a show with Norman Seeff, legendary filmmaker, and which was pretty awesome. But
Did you
we
guys
have,
see it?
Mhm.
It was good,
Yeah.
eh? I
Yeah,
loved it.
it was amazing. It was like it was moving.
We got
Oh.
other celebrities booked. We have celebrities booked in for future shows. So it's just getting better every time we do a show. The list of people that want to be on her show is getting better and better because she knows a lot of people within her. You know, she lives on Hollywood Hills and all this other stuff. So she knows all these people. So she's bringing them all. So you guys need to check out that. And sorry for talking too much. I
No,
apologize.
man,
I
that's
just had a
great.
little bit. I had some caffeine today. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, hey, that's great. Brother Carlos, how can we get you in social media and what you got popping off soon? Or I know you've been. I keep missing your program, shooting the breeze.
Well, that's just me being able to just say, "Hey, what's going on, people?"
Mhm.
but you can always reach me at Carlos Phoenix on every social, or you can go to carlosphoenix.com and that'll give you every social.
Okay, all right. And you got. I mean, you're always doing like some event. Like you did a film festival
Yeah,
online,
we
and
just finished a film festival on Martin Luther King Day. That lasted about a month and a half. I've done concerts. I've done a lot of live production stuff. Anything that's challenging, anything that's going to be like it hasn't been done before. We had 50 cameras, multiple states and countries, and we're able to produce a 4-hour show while sitting in a hotel room with an iPad,
wow.
and broadcasted it to television, radio, and over 30 different platforms simultaneously while I'm chilling.
You kind of like a Bond villain a little bit.
No, what I like is what I've enjoyed the challenges of live streaming is that there's so much that hasn't been done
hmm
that I want to be the one to break it. And with my television background, I kind of know how to get certain things done on their end and then make it work for my end and then just have it stream.
Wow, yeah, it's everything you guys are all doing is pretty dope. And Carlos, I love what you're doing. I always check you out. You guys always keep me entertained. I should be paying for this. Shannon, definitely not last, but or least. But what can we expect from you? And then on Fridays, right? You do the show with
Right now,
Tracy.
I'm not doing anything, but you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Shannon Ford like the president hyphen Jefferson like the president.
All right. You give me a Kinte F on Twitter, Kinte Ferguson on Instagram. Of course, the website is indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org. We have I'm pretty sure we'll have a great program next week. I will announce it pretty soon. But you guys have a blessed week,
Bye.
and we'll be catch you guys.